Tonight on UMTV News, the United States 100th Veterans Day just passed, and the country took a moment to remember and honor our vets.
Plus, the Berlin Wall came down 30 years ago, and its anniversary is setting off even more worldwide celebrations as people remember the day the wall fell.
And later on, the Canes delivered a solid stomping of Louisville for the homecoming football game, and we have the highlights. All this and more on today's show. UMTV News starts right now. Hello and welcome to UMTV News. I'm Grace Smith.
And I'm Gianna Sanchez. This week at the University of Miami, it's Veterans Week.
And students are honoring our veterans through activities throughout the week.
Yesterday, across the country, millions of people honored the veterans, but the biggest parade happened in New York City.
People across the country traveled to New York City's 100th annual Veterans Day parade yesterday. President Trump led the ceremony, making it the first time a sitting president has attended the event. David Perez has a story.
It's a day of pride and patriotism.
It's a day that's got to be honored.
Honoring those who fought, served, and died for our nation. A day for the veterans.
It's a chosen few that choose to do this.
Today marks the 100th annual Veterans Day Parade in New York City, which runs up 5th Avenue from 26th Street to 46th. President Donald Trump becoming the first known president to attend the New York City Veterans Day Parade. This according to the United Veterans War Council, which extends a yearly invitation to the Commander-in-Chief.
It is truly an honor to come back to New York City, right here at Madison Square Park, to be the first president ever to attend America's parade. Each year, this parade highlights one branch of our military. This year, we honor the elite masters of air, land, and sea, the legendary Leathernecks, the feared Devil Dogs, the first to flight, the United States Marines. Let's hear it.
The president is not marching in this year's parade, but tens of thousands of veterans from through the years will be. Like Ephraim Diaz, an Army veteran who served in Iraq, says the importance of this parade cannot be overstated.
It means a lot. It means everything, especially for those that never came back home.
Honoring those who served to fight for what we believe in and to make this country what it is.
This Marine Corps veteran says Americans should take their time to reflect on the true meaning of Veterans Day.
Unfortunately, most Americans use that as an excuse to shop. There's nothing wrong with shopping or to take a trip. It's just the idea. People forget the meaning of it.
Yellow roses were placed at New York's 9/11 Memorial for military victims. More than 275 veterans died in the terrorist attacks. That was UMTV's David Perez reporting.
And across the Atlantic, people are marking another anniversary. It's been 30 years since the fall of the Berlin Wall, and tens of thousands gathered to mark the occasion in Berlin on November 9th. German Chancellor Angela Merkel said that this event is so important not just for Germany, but for all of Europe.
But the values that Europe is based on, freedom, democracy, equality, rule of law, respect for human rights, these are definitely not to be taken for granted, and they have to be lived and defended again and again.
And while the mood during the speech was solemn, many celebrated the fact that Europe is free, and many artists have now painted pictures on part of the wall that still stands.
In Los Angeles, the Warner Brothers studio lot had to evacuate on Saturday because of a fire nearby. The LA Fire Department says the Barham bushfire has burned 34 acres in the Hollywood Hills. No buildings are damaged or under threat at the moment, but officials are encouraging residents to stay inside their homes. No evacuation orders have yet been sent out.
The red tide is back, and the toxic algae has reached the southwest area of Florida yet again. The algae has been slowly going towards the shore of the Gulf Coast over the past month. Scientists say it will be hard to predict where the algae will go and how long it will last, but it currently does not look as widespread as the last one. Residents in Southwest Florida are worried about their health, the environment, and whether the area can handle this outbreak again.
Teenagers are facing quite a lot these days between hard school classes, extracurriculars, and additional added pressures. But there are some who struggle with much more serious issues. Our reporter Sharon Danquah joins us now with the story of one teenager who has overcome so much. Sharon?
That's right, Grace. I recently had the chance to meet one young man who is living proof that even if something's out of your control, you can overcome it with the right attitude. 16-year-old Braulio Hernandez has always been a ball of energy, doing anything he can to put a smile on as many faces as possible, even as a kid.
La maestra de kindergarten me llaman para que yo vaya al aula y le...
So Braulio and his family decided to take all that energy and move to Los Angeles, California to start his career as an actor. But shortly after their move, he got some bad news.
I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma earlier this year, so it was about May or something like that. So I have done I did 4 cycles of chemotherapy.
Now Braulio is cancer-free, and his fight against cancer definitely did not stop him from creating more smiles.
Braulio's a little difficult. I'm kidding. Braulio's wonderful. He makes my job very, very easy. He's very easy to work with. He's very positive, very gracious, very just outgoing. He's just funny. Even when he's having a bad day, it's not a bad day with Braulio. It's always still a good day.
Braulio was treated at the Alexander Daly Family Clinic for childhood cancer and blood disease, also known as Alex's Place, where he had an impact on a number of patients and friends.
Oh, he's so funny. And he has like a great sense of humor, and he's not afraid like to stand up for himself or talk about anything, talk about his diagnosis. And so that also that really inspires me, because before all of this I couldn't even stand up for myself, but I think that his strength made me stronger.
Each year Alex's Place puts together a carnival to celebrate patients. And this year, Braulio took to the dance floor to show his doctors some moves.
It has been a very difficult process for your child to be diagnosed with cancer, but we were with an incredible team at Alex's Place Clinic.
And during his time at Alex's Place, Braulio chronicled his fight from beginning
and I have gotten my port placed in
to end.
So I am cancer-free. They're not there anymore. I couldn't be happier. This has made my day, my week, my year.
According to the American Cancer Society, about 11,000 children in the United States under the age of 15 will be diagnosed with cancer in 2019. But patients at Alex's Place like Braulio refuse to let the disease take away their smile. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Sharon Dankwa.
Wow, what an incredible story in person.
He's truly amazing.
And still to come on UMTV News, we tell you which popular food products have been recalled because of a listeria outbreak.
And we head to the Wasco Center to see how our women's basketball team did at their home opener. More when we return.
So we were walking to school.
I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart.
want cheese pizza.
Sometimes her mind wanders.
We should have a sleepover.
I remember saying, Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
I really hope she doesn't have another bad day.
I really hope I don't have another bad day at school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
145 over 92.
180 over 111.
I had a heart attack, a cardiac arrest, and then a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from invisible or silent. Get back on your plan or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Thanks for staying with us. Next week, attorney generals and staffers from nearly a dozen states will meet to discuss an antitrust investigation into Google. Attorney General Ken Paxton opened the probe into Google in September, but the Monday meeting in Colorado will be the first face-to-face meeting conducted. The attendees expect to discuss the division of investigation work and how to analyze the overall tech industry.
A new contender has joined streaming services, Disney+. The mega company launched their new service and an expansive world of properties last night. The service costs $7 a month. It has animated features, a classic collection of movies, and several Star Wars and Marvel spin-off shows. Despite facing some technical issues from overwhelming online traffic, the service is expected to expand to more countries in the coming months.
The Department of Agriculture's Food and Safety Inspection Service is recalling 25,000 pounds of meat following a possible listeria issue. In the announcement made Sunday, the USDA explained ready-to-eat meats like pepperoni and sausage made by the brand Ezo Sausage Company could be carrying listeria. Contaminated food could cause fevers, headaches, and loss of balance. So far, there are no reports of anyone getting sick. The USDA advises throwing out any products made on October 25th, October 30th, and November 5th.
In other health news, studies found that teens are turning away from cigarettes to marijuana, and this change could have serious health consequences. In 2016, about 40% of young adults admitted to using the drug within the past year. This is an increase of 8% when compared to 2002. But the same age group is also dropping cigarettes and avoiding tobacco-related issues. But one study showed that young people with a cannabis use disorder also have a 52% greater risk of serious heart issues and strokes.
One animal thought to be extinct for 3 decades has reappeared. The Chirvachan, which is a small deer-like animal, was photographed in Vietnam recently, 30 years after researchers thought the tiny creature was gone forever. It had been assumed extinct because of the illegal wildfire trade, and scientists are now putting conservation measures in place to help in the creature's survival.
Another rare sighting happened yesterday, but far away from anywhere on Earth. This Monday, the planet Mercury passed across the sun early in the morning around 7 a.m. The rare event happens only 13 times per century. It's called a transit and will happen next in 2032, so I hope you caught it this time. Man, I didn't happen to catch that one yesterday, but it looks super cool.
Me neither, but I did see it by Lake Osceola.
Oh, nice.
Up next, a major weekend of sports just passed here at the U.
And we'll have all the updates you need after a short break. Don't go away.
So we were walking to school. I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart.
want cheese pizza.
Sometimes her mind wanders.
We should have a sleepover.
I remember saying, Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
I really hope she doesn't
I
have
really
another
hope I
bad
don't
day
have another
at
bad day at
today.
school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
145 over 92.
180 over 111.
I had a heart attack, a cardiac arrest, and then a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from invisible or silent. Get back on your plan or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Head coach Manny Diaz called it the new Miami coming into 2019, and the Hurricanes football team looked like a motivated group against Louisville in Saturday's home finale. Hard to believe it's been 4 weeks since Miami lost to one-win Georgia Tech at Hard Rock Stadium, but redshirt Jaron Williams making sure it wouldn't happen again. The quarterback setting a school record and tying a conference record with 6 touchdown passes on the night. The Canes setting another school record on offense, putting 52 points on the board against an ACC opponent. Miami winning a 52-27 final. They'll have a bye week this weekend.
And while Miami's football team closed their home schedule with a win Saturday, the women's basketball started their home schedule against Jackson State on Sunday. Miami playing host to Jackson State, starting the season off strong with an 83-68 win. Kelsey Marshall and Micaiah Gray leading the way for Miami with a combined 30 points, more than any other Jackson State scorers. Beatrice Montpremier also closing out the game for Miami with a 36 triple-double of her career. The Canes sit at number 17 in the rankings with a home matchup against North Florida looming on Wednesday.
It's not even mid-November, but Christmas preparations are already in full swing. The famous Rockefeller Center Christmas tree has already arrived in Manhattan for the 87th annual tree lighting ceremony. The tree is a Norway spruce that weighs 14 tons and is 77 feet tall, and it was cut last week from a community in New York. This year's Rockefeller lighting ceremony is set for December 4th. Well, from lighting up the scoreboard to lighting up the Christmas tree.
You know, I'd start singing Jingle Bells, but apparently we still have Christmas to go through, so we can't forget about Thanksgiving.
Only 2 weeks away from carving that turkey grace, and that'll do for this week's edition of UMTV News. We'll be back next week. Have a good night.